Well, Kathleen Kennedy's up to it again. She says everybody needs to be included in the Star Wars movies. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone needs to be included. And that she's disappointed at how the women struggle with fan attacks because it's male dominated in Star Wars. Well, Kathleen, if we took the NBA and they said everybody had to be included in the NBA and they made it a requirement to have 40% Asians on each team, they had to have playtime. Do you think that they would maintain their viewership? What about the NFL? What if they said everybody had to be included? You would have all these people who were not qualified to be an NFL player on the team, and viewership would tank because the fans vote on what they like through their viewership and their money. So that's why everything's tanked since the sequels have come out, because the viewers are not getting what they would like. It's not that the fan base is against the women. I mean, if you looked at Star Wars or the prequel trilogy, you never heard anything about that. You heard people getting upset about Jar Jar Binks, and then the young kid who was Anakin got bullied. I mean, that's not cool, but I think that was more the younger kids that were bullying him. I think they were so far off base, and they're not listening to the fans, and they are trying to create this agenda where they're trying to include everybody when everybody is not a qualified person to be in that role. And I found this article on Variety, and I want to share it with you. It says Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because of the fan base being so male dominated. In a new interview with the New York Times for the upcoming Star Wars series The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said she is aware that women in the space franchise are often attacked online more than men because of the fan base being so male dominated. Female stars Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran certainly faced online harassment from toxic fans when the most recent Star Wars film trilogy was released. And now The Acolyte is already being attacked in certain corners of the fandom. I don't know, maybe the movies just stink and they're not attacking them because they're bigoted or they're misogynistic. They're just upset that the movies suck. The Acolyte is an original story created by Leslie Headland that's set long before the events of The Phantom Menace. Headland, known for directing films such as Sleeping with Other People and co-creating Netflix hit comedy series Russian Dolls, is the first woman to serve as a showrunner of the Star Wars series. But she's not the first woman to direct, because they had a couple of women that directed the Mandalorian series. Her show includes major new female Star Wars characters played by the likes of Amanda Stenberg, Carrie-Anne Moss, Jodie Turner-Smith, and more. As reported by The Times, a loud primordial part of the Star Wars fandom has pushed back in predictable fashion against the show. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the ranks of Jedi? Reads a comment on the Acolyte trailer, with others expressing a similar worldview. Some trolls have nicknamed Headland's series the Wokalite. My belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people, Kennedy told the publication about her support for Headland's Acolyte vision. That's an easy decision for me. Well, shouldn't it be the most qualified people? Because, like I said, you have either quality or quantity. With quantity, you have a representation of everybody, but with quality, you have a great show. So, operating with these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation is terrifying, Kennedy continued. I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Headland has already started to limit her exposure to online chatter about the show to block out any of the toxic fans, and the show hasn't even debuted on Disney Plus yet. As a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I felt it myself, she said. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. The Acolyte premieres on June 4th on Disney Plus. So it seems like when a movie tanks, they blame the fans and then they claim that the fans are bigoted, racist, and use a lot of hate speech. They never say the show sucks. They don't take responsibility for their own actions in creating this horrific show. So if they would do that, then they might realize that sometimes the fans are correct in what they might say. I mean, I don't condone hate speech. I don't condone bigotry or racism. She doesn't have empathy for the fans at all. No empathy. If she had empathy for the fans, then she wouldn't be pushing this agenda. She would be trying to get us a quality show. Like the observations I made at the very beginning, where if you had it for the NFL or the NBA, then there would be no viewership and they would tank. You have to give what the fans want, or else you're going to go under. It seems like they have this leaky ship that is sinking, and they're just sitting there and they're poking more holes in it. They're not trying to patch it. They're not trying to, get the fans to come. They're trying to, like, I guess, create their own fans for the Star Wars series. And the original Star Wars fans, they're not having it. They just don't want this stuff. So I have not seen The Acolyte. I'm having a watch party Tuesday night when The Acolyte comes out. I'm going to go in there with an open mind, and we are going to discuss what we enjoy about The Acolyte. I will have a panel of people on the show. We're going to do a live watch of The Acolyte, and then afterwards we'll have a discussion. And it's going to be a professional discussion. It won't be a bashing discussion. We will go in there and we will professionally and calmly discuss this. I might be frustrated afterwards. Hopefully I'm not. Hopefully Leslie Headland just knocks it out of the park, But I don't have high hopes. But we'll see. Well, if you like this content, I know you will like this video. And also, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And may the Force be with you always.